The Federal Labor spokesperson for Families and Social Services is Linda Burney and joins me now. Good afternoon. Thanks for your time.
Good afternoon, Lucy. How are you?
Good, thank you. So what's your issue with this?
A couple of issues. The Labor Party is arguing very strongly that the liquids assets test, and you've described it perfectly in your introduction, should not be brought back at this point in time. Obviously, at some point, the government will bring it back, but now is not the time, particularly when you look at the amount of people that are expected to become unemployed over the next month or two. So the liquid assets test is, as you said, money that you have in your bank account, and a lot of people have accessed their superannuation early. Some people may have a small redundancy, but it can also be stocks, and it can also be money owing to you. So it's not necessarily what you've got in the bank, but mostly it is around that. The second thing is that the JobSeeker rate will be cut at the end of this month. The next payment that people get in terms of JobSeeker will be $300 less than what they got in the last payment. So now is not the time for the government to be making it more difficult for people on JobSeeker.
You talk about people, the number of people expected to lose their jobs within the next weeks, months, I guess. How many people are we expecting?
Well, the government's figures, and that's what I'm going by, says that at least 400,000 Australians will be forced onto JobSeeker before Christmas. Now, all of those people will be subject to this reintroduced liquid assets test. And we think that's absolutely inappropriate. I mean, Tasmania has this won't surprise you, Lucy, has the worst statistics in the country as far as unemployed people and availability of jobs. In Tasmania, there are about 39,000 people at the moment who are on JobSeeker or youth allowance, but mostly JobSeeker. There's only 1,700 jobs available. So that means there's about 23 people unemployed for every single job in Tasmania.
Linda Burney is my guest, Federal Labor's spokesperson for Families and Social Services, and we're talking about JobSeeker. So the liquid assets waiting period resumes on Thursday after being removed for 6 months. So people who lose their jobs from the end of this week and need to apply for JobSeeker will be expected to use their savings before being approved for payments. Linda Burney, I think, Australians expect that people would use their own savings before using taxpayers' dollars, don't you think?
I do think that there is that view out there, but think about it from another perspective, Lucy. If you are unemployed, particularly at this particular time, it's going to be extremely difficult to gain employment, particularly in a place like Tasmania. And for a lot of people, if they've got $5,000 in the bank, it's usually there for unforeseen circumstance. The fridge blows up, the car needs new tyres, there's an illness in the family. So what the government is doing is actually a false economy. If they are forcing people to use all their assets and there is some unforeseen circumstance, then really it puts people in a very difficult position. But it also means that there's going to be more call on the welfare dollar, if I can put it that way, through emergency relief and so forth. And we do know another thing, Lucy, and that is that emergency relief places that do, food parcels and provide financial counselling, they are seeing people that they have never seen before, looking for things as basic as food.
So when the end of this week rolls around, what do you think we might be seeing?
Well, if the government doesn't change tact, we will see people on JobSeeker lose $300 a fortnight. So that means that their payments will go back to something like, let's see, $700-800 a fortnight to live on, and we know that will cause enormous hardship. People will start to make decisions between medication and food and getting their kids to school. We will also see the liquid assets waiting period back in. I just should mention also, all in front of the Parliament at the moment, the government has legislation to extend even further the waiting period to 26 weeks for the liquid assets test applying.
Thanks so much for your time, Linda. We'll leave it there.
Thank you.
Linda Burney, Federal Labor's spokesperson for Families and Social Services. Are you about to find yourself in that position?